and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Liam Xavier, and you join us at the Communify Intelligence Experience. With me right now is Helen Murdoch, the CEO at DoPro. Helen, lovely to have you here.
Great to be here.
So we can talk a little bit about financial well-being and stability. It's a strange world at the moment where financial well-being is sort of confusing. There's access where it wasn't before, but stability as a whole is almost an alien concept. So what does stability actually mean in this time?
Yes, so financial well-being as a concept is, from the perspective of, it's really about not being stressed and continuing to engage in money. In Australia, there are lots of people who don't even have $1,000 to cope with anything that goes wrong with their lives. But essentially, it's about, in wherever you are in your life, having the capacity to handle something that goes wrong. And the other thing is, in simple terms, to ensure that you can work towards your goals for your future. If you have those two things and you're managing your everyday expenses, then you are well on your way to being financially well.
And what can tech vendors and certain providers supply in terms of education towards how people can enable their financial freedom, but also without losing too much life freedom as well?
Yeah, exactly. And getting that balance right is incredibly hard. And look, some of the feedback is I can't out budget my existing expenses. So that's absolutely a stress, and that's true. But there are also many people who have good incomes and are potentially not intentionally spending well. So they're overspending where they shouldn't. And I think the other thing is it's very overwhelming for many people. So understanding where they are and what they can do about their current position to give them more stability is where we really play.
And is there anything in particular, whether that's education or the development more of these technology, that you think we can do to close the gap when it comes to wealth inequality?
Yeah, there is so much we can do to close the gap. I mean, everybody deals with money every day, but not very many people understand even the basic concepts. So, for example, financial literacy is not taught in the Australian schools, but even the basic concept of living your expenses beneath your income or accelerating your income is not even well known or well understood. One of the most indebted generations in Australia is actually Gen Z. They have huge levels of personal finance and they don't necessarily know what to do with it. Because you're getting so much social media, there's lots of knowledge acquisition, but what you need to do is start doing the actions to actually get on top of it. And what DoPro does is very simply create routines and rituals to help you do that.
Interesting. And you mentioned Australia there. We're in the US currently.
Yeah.
But how does this change internationally? Is it something that's a problem all the way around the exact same way, or is it different?
It's exactly the same problem. So the research, before we started developing DoPro, the research we did was actually based in the US and in the UK. And the learning was that Australia was the same as those two markets. So there was a longitudinal study done on 10,000 Gen Zs in those two markets. And the situation was financially stressed, don't know where to start, who to trust, or what to do. And I think social media is actually driving a level of anxiety that is making many people just disengage entirely. And that then promotes, effectively financial nihilism. And that's why you see people not pay attention to their savings, they kind of give up. And that's common across Australia, the UK and the US.
And do you think it's important, are you yourself or other companies finding them where they are or on social media to sort of counterbalance?
100%. So we are doing two things. So we're just launching the company, so it's in its very early stages, but absolutely the social media through TikTok is about financial well-being and really putting that story out there so people know where to start. I've got my son and my daughter, 22 and 25, will be working with me on producing the information. But then the app itself is just easily accessible on their phone, and they're able to go back and see where they, get back to where they left off, which you can't really do with social media. The other thing is that you can then see their progress wins in terms of their education, of what they're doing, their goals, and how they're feeling about it. And that's what an app can capture.
A worthwhile purpose and a great conversation. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much, Liam. I appreciate being here.